The West Toronto Junction, perhaps one of the most unknown known towns within Toronto. This small Toronto enclave has quietly developed into a thriving, vibrant community, one of Toronto's hidden gems. Located just west of the Annex until about Runnymede Road, with Dundas Street West as its main bloodline, it vibrates to the tune of its eclectic shops. The people that work and live here are passionate about their neighborhood.
The Junction is one of those funny places that a lot of people don't actually know about.
So when I looked all around Toronto and I looked in all sorts of neighborhoods, and somebody finally told me there was a neighborhood called the Junction.
What's essential to the Junction, and it's almost right there in the name Junction, is that there is a little bit of a rough edge to it, or a independent spirit to it.
I came and checked it out and found it really interesting.
If you want to know what's going on or what's coming down the pipe, you just need to ask people. We're neighbors and also sort of friends.
I think the Junction's a really trendy area. There's a lot of really cool restaurants, and there's always something artistic going on.
I think the Junction's unique because it's an area that's full of life. It's full of artists, it's full of emerging designers, it's full of entrepreneurs, it's full of people that have great ideas.
There are so many things that are unique about this neighborhood. It is what makes me love it. I mean, the stores are unique.
Really independent people with really cool ideas opening businesses.
Beyond that, the people inside them are also so wonderfully unique.
Throughout its long and convoluted history, the neighborhood has managed to retain its unique identity, in spite of being touted as Toronto's next hot neighborhood.
What helps it retain that sort of small town feel is the individuality of every store you go into.
People who hang out in the Junction usually live in the Junction, because it's not on the way to most places.
I chose to set up my business in the Junction because I've always believed in this area.
It's a real neighborhood feel. People walk out of their apartments, they talk to each other.
They've kind of grown in a positive way, where they seem to be arts-oriented, community-oriented, environmentally conscious. They've organized things like Earth Hour walks and things like that. In 8-9 years, I've watched the Junction change a lot. What I like about what's happening right now is the development of all these great independent sort of mom and pop stores. All the cafes are owned by families.
Looking at the newly establishing shops along the main strip, it is clear that from its working class past, the Junction has also become a more family-oriented community. But the transition wasn't always smooth.
People still don't understand the transition that the Junction has gone through, perhaps even just over the last 5 years.
One interesting thing about the Junction, that the Junction's reputation was always as a really rough neighborhood, but no more so than any other neighborhood.
The Junction right now is a home, it seems to me, for a lot of people who have a real independent streak, a real particular individual way of doing things. And I think that's part of the charm of the neighborhood and part of what makes it interesting to live here. And I think it would be a shame if that independent streak somehow got squeezed out of the Junction as it continues to become a more exciting place to live.
Because the Junction has evolved in exceptional ways, it seems likely to continue growing as an authentic and unconventional place, harboring creative, sophisticated, yet down-to-earth citizens. We look forward to learning even more about its history, its culture, and its people.
Everything the Junction needs is in the Junction.
We're just growing and growing with the artistic side.
It's a real junction of arts and humanity and cultures and food.
It's a great representation from around the world. And that is very exciting to me. It is the future of Canada. It is what I love about Toronto. And it's all right here in what we consider to still be the small town of the Junction.
I believe I haven't seen that before. Interesting.